Here's something I want you to think about for a second. Your child is mid-meltdown, crying, screaming, maybe throwing themselves on the floor. And what do? You start talking. You explain, you negotiate, you reason. And when none of that works, you try again, just louder and with more words this time. I've been there. Every parent has. But here's what nobody tells you. All that talking, it's not calming your child down. It's actually making the whole thing worse. And once I show you why, you'll never approach a tantrum the same way again.
We're wired to use our words. From the moment our kids could understand us, we've been talking them through everything: bedtime, meals, emotions, conflict. So when a tantrum hits, talking feels like the obvious tool to reach for. But in this specific situation, it's the wrong one entirely. And I don't say that to make you feel bad. I say it because understanding why it doesn't work is actually the first step to finding something that does.
When your child melts down, something very specific is happening inside their brain. There's a tiny region called the amygdala. Think of it as your child's built-in alarm system. The moment your child feels something is wrong, that alarm goes off, full blast. Now, here's the thing. The amygdala doesn't stop to ask whether the situation is actually dangerous. It doesn't care that the problem is a blue cup instead of a red one, or that you had to leave the park 5 minutes early, or that their shoe wouldn't go on the right way. All it registers is, something is wrong, sound the alarm. And the moment that alarm fires, your child's brain shifts into full survival mode. Fight, flight, or freeze. You've seen it. You know exactly what it looks like.
Here's the part I really need you to hear. When the brain locks into survival mode, the prefrontal cortex, the region that handles logic, language, and reasoning, goes completely offline. Not partially, not mostly, offline. That means while you're patiently explaining why the red cup is in the dishwasher and the blue one is perfectly fine and there is genuinely no difference between them, your child's brain cannot receive a single word you are saying. Not because they're being difficult, not because they're ignoring you. Their brain is literally not capable of processing language in that state. And this isn't just a kid thing. Think about the last time you were genuinely furious. If someone walked up mid-argument and calmly started explaining their side, did that cool you down, or did it make everything worse? Because when we're emotionally flooded, the reasoning brain steps aside. It happens to every one of us. Your child's version just looks like rolling on the floor over a cup.
So your words aren't landing. But here's where it gets even more interesting, because it's not just what you're saying that's the problem. It's everything your child is seeing while you say it. Picture it from where they're standing. You're already taller than them on a calm day. Now you're leaning over them, arms moving, face cycling through worry, frustration, and barely held together patience. You mean well, obviously, but to a little brain that's already convinced danger is somewhere nearby, all of that movement and intensity doesn't read as comfort, it reads as confirmation. Instead of your presence saying, "You're safe, I've got you," your body might accidentally be broadcasting, "Yes, something is very wrong here." And what could have resolved in 5 minutes stretches into 20, 30, 40 minutes of everyone unraveling together.
So, if talking makes it worse and your body language can too, what actually helps? Here's the shift that changed everything for me. Your child doesn't need to be talked out of a tantrum. They need to feel safe enough to come down from it on their own. The thinking brain doesn't come back online through explanation. It comes back online through safety. And safety, especially when words can't even be received, is communicated through your presence, your stillness, your calm. When your child's nervous system sees that you aren't panicking, that you are steady and grounded, it starts to read the situation differently. We're okay. This isn't an emergency. I can come down from this. And only then, only once their thinking brain is back, can you actually have a real conversation about what happened.
Let me walk you through exactly how this played out with my own daughter just recently.
She's 2.5, and she was playing with a dollhouse with her older sister when suddenly, full meltdown. Screaming, rolling on the floor, the works. The reason? She wanted the tiny cot her sister was using. Now, the old version of me would have rushed over and launched into something like, I can see you're upset because you want the cot, but your sister had it first, and we need to take turns, and maybe in a few minutes you can have a go. You know the speech. I've given it 100 times. But I already knew that none of it would reach her. Her alarm was going. Her thinking brain was gone. So I did something different. I picked her up, brought her into her room, and set her down gently on the floor. She was still going, kicking, screaming, pressing herself against the wall to get as far from me as possible. Her whole body was telling me that my closeness wasn't helping. So instead of crowding her, I quietly said, I'm here, stepped slightly back, still in the room, still present, but out of her direct line of sight, and then I just waited. No coaching, no narrating her emotions back to her, no use your words or calm down, 2 phrases that, by the way, almost never do what we hope they'll do. After what felt like forever, though it was honestly closer to a minute, I noticed the shift. The crying softened, the thrashing stopped, her body started to settle. That was my cue to quietly move back into her sightline. Still no words, just steady, just calm. My whole body was saying, this isn't dangerous. You're okay. I'm okay. We're going to be fine. About 30 seconds later, she looked up at me. Just that, looked up, and I asked, do you want to cuddle? She nodded, and she crawled right into my lap. We sat there quietly for a little while. No debrief, no lesson, just the 2 of us. And then, once her breathing had steadied, her body had gone soft, and she was making real eye contact again, that's when I knew her thinking brain was back online. That's when we could actually talk about the cot, about her sister, about what to try next time. And this time, she could actually hear me.
Now, I already know what you're thinking. That's great at home, but what about out in public? What about the supermarket? Let me paint you a picture. You're in the middle of the cereal aisle. Your child has spotted a box of something with a cartoon character on it, and you've said no. Within seconds, they're on the floor, and you can feel every nearby adult either staring or very deliberately not staring. You're trying to stay calm while also internally calculating how quickly you can get to the checkout and never return to this specific store again. I've lived this. We all have. But here's what actually helps in that moment. Your child's brain works exactly the same in aisle 7 as it does at home. The survival alarm is going. The thinking brain is offline. Words won't land. The approach doesn't change. Option 1, if you have the time and a little space, gently move your child somewhere quieter, an empty aisle, just outside the entrance, a corner away from the noise. Less stimulation gives their nervous system a better chance to settle. Option 2, if you can't move them, create a calm bubble right where you are. Get down to their level. Slow your movements right down. Soften your face, even when it feels impossible with an audience. Say, I'm here, and hold steady. Wait for the signs they're coming back. The breathing slowing, the body releasing, their eyes finding yours.
But what if you genuinely cannot wait? You have somewhere to be. You needed to leave 5 minutes ago. Here's where I'll actually contradict my own advice, because in this one situation, a very specific kind of talking does help. Acknowledge what they're feeling. Keep it short, then hand them a simple binary choice about how you're going to leave. Something like, you're really upset about the toy, I get it, but we have to go right now. Do you want to walk and hold my hand, or do you want me to carry you? It's not a negotiation, it's not an explanation, it's just a small pocket of control handed back to them, which can be just enough to shift the moment. Fair warning, if they're still deep in it, they probably won't answer. Give it a few seconds, and then just pick them up and go. Getting through the moment is sometimes the entire win, and that is completely enough.
Tantrums are one of the hardest parts of parenting young children. Not because they're dangerous, but because every instinct we have pulls us toward the one thing that doesn't help. We want to fix it. We want to explain. We want to reach them with our words. But sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is put the words down, get quiet, and just be there. Your calm is the message. Your presence is the tool. And in that moment, you're not fixing behavior. You're bringing your child's brain back online. And when that happens, everything else gets easier.